Okay, today we are reviewing The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This is a very plot-forward fantasy romance. So the FMC is Aurea. She is a human, and her father is Vincent, who is the vampire king of the House of Night. So she has to enter in this Hunger Games-like trial. The winner gets to ask for a wish from their goddess, Nyaxia, I think is how you pronounce
goddess
it.
Goddess of death and night or something like that, right?
I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that though. Yeah, Nyaxia.
So whoever wins gets this grand wish.
Mm-hmm.
So she enters this trial where she meets Rain, who is the MMC.
Mm-hmm.
She's forced to partner with Rain and his friend Mish and form a alliance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as they get to know each other, they both learn that the other one isn't quite what they imagined. And she learns a lot.
Yeah, totally. So I think I speak for both of us, but we both really enjoyed this book. Yeah, really great, even from the beginning, you know, very descriptive, really built the world. And then I think the author did such like a cool job at like paralleling certain like interactions. For example, like they're prepping for this trial and they're fighting and they're learning about each other at the same time. She really like parallels the fighting with the growing relationships. And yeah, lots of great descriptions, great character building.
Yes.
And action packed. Like I don't think there was one moment where I was like, this is boring. I was always like, God, what's happening next?
Yes, I was thinking like the pacing of the book was done so well. Like the suspense, the pacing of their relationship, and like nothing was just given over and like easy and cheap. Like everything was like this, like you had to work for it, but it made it so much more enjoyable.
Totally. And I also really appreciated, because I know I've said this before, I'm not really like great with catchphrases in romance novels. And although there were like a little bit of nicknames, it wasn't overdone. I thought it was like a really good balance. I wasn't like, God, they're saying and doing this again.
Yes.
I'm just like, no, it was like super well balanced.
It wasn't repetitive.
No.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Even though like it's just like 6 trials. It's 6, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
And then, so you think like it
Seven.
It could be repetitive, you know, they enter the trials, you almost nearly die, then you get saved, but I didn't feel that way at all.
No, it was great.
Yeah.
10 out of 10, recommend.
Yeah.
Characters.
Okay, so the characters are so good, and you know, like, so even like Vincent, her father, who's like the epitome of like vampire king, like soulless, kills anyone on like a heartbeat, like they all have like a shred of humanity that makes them so likable. So like even though like, you know, a few of them are really evil, like I loved them.
Lots of layers.
Oh yeah. It's like, oh, they get you.
Yeah, they do get you. Like right when you're like, oh, this person's this way, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna cry.
Yes, it's the shreds of their humanity just like are constantly seeping through.
Yeah, it's really great. And I guess like out of all the characters though, dateability. Do we want to talk about spice? Do we want to talk about dateability? Because I feel like we could go on about plot and character and like fantasize about it for a long time.
I mean, Aurea as the FMC is
love her.
Oh, she's amazing.
Let's talk dateability first.
Yes,
yeah.
I would.
Which one? Who? Because there's options.
I mean,
Vincent. You could Daddy Vincent and then Rain.
I mean, I have less of a death, like not a huge death wish, so I don't think maybe like Vincent seems like you might die. But Rain, Rain. I'll never forget him.
Yeah, definitely I would date Rain.
Oh,
Elisa's daydreaming about it already.
I am.
Spice scene. So there wasn't like a ton, but we love a slow burn. So I would say there was like one big one that hit ya.
It hits you.
Third act with punch. But it still wasn't like, as you were saying before, it wasn't easy. It wasn't
It was-
like given to you. It wasn't like, oh, now this is happening. No,
It was
you
so
worked for it.
torture.
Yes.
And it just, the torture of like, I loved it.
And I love too that like it's realistic to like what characters would feel in a situation like
Yes.
that. Like they're both very guarded, but they're having these emotions,
Yes.
but they're still unsure how to process it, and they're not willing to give up too much, especially the female lead, which like I appreciate. It's not like wham bam, thank you ma'am, we're in love. No,
Yes.
it's like very like
They didn't
how
just,
it should be
they
when
didn't,
this happens.
yeah, they didn't just
Yeah.
like, we're like, oh, now like we're in love and like toss away all of like, like their entire personalities, like
Yeah.
who they were and like everything that they were before, just like still seep through during like the spicy scene and then still like afterwards.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like that, like, oh, they hooked up and then like they were like, oh, well, now
Everything's
everything's
changed.
changed.
No,
Yeah.
nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed.
We're still on the mission, down to business. We have these
Yeah.
feelings, but
and
goals. We go for the end goals.
yeah, and like the feeling that they felt of like how terrifying like love can really be
Yeah, no, I
was like a very, I feel like
Yeah.
that's like a main theme throughout the book with between like all the characters really. Yeah.
but yeah, you're right, that's like a total theme. Cool.
It's so good.
Okay. So we loved it.
Love.
Yeah, we'll be doing book 2.
There's a second book which Will has destroyed me.
Don't give away too
No,
much.
I'm not going to say anything other than it destroyed me and I will never recover. And we're going to be reviewing it in a couple weeks from now.
Well, stay tuned, I guess, for next week.